Okay, welcome back, guys. So look, your hard work is not enough to grow your Etsy business because you could literally work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day if you really wanted to, but ultimately still end up in the exact same position if you are putting all of that work, that time, that effort into doing the wrong things. And I've seen it firsthand with a lot of Etsy sellers I've worked with that we've ended up being able to scale to 5-figure plus months. This is always one of the first things that we need to fix. So I want to start with the first point here, guys, all right? And this is that hard work and progress, they are not the same thing. I see a lot of sellers out there, right? They think that just because, they've opened their laptop up, they've logged into their shop, and they just do something on their shop, they think, if they just keep doing something every single day, even for like a year in a row or 6 months in a row, whatever it is, that effort is going to just automatically compound and they're going to end up being very successful, because you see a lot of results out there. You see a lot of the advice. I say it myself. Getting a business that can give you location freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, it does take time, right? We all know that one of the requirements to get into that point is putting the time in. But just putting the time in alone does not equal results. This is something that we have to establish. And, I'm sure you probably know this already, but it's always good to remind you of this. But what does equal results, however, is putting the time in to move the needle on your business, move forward, so that we can then start getting more feedback from Etsy, from the marketplace, and then we can learn lessons, we can try new things, we can see what works, see what doesn't work, and then we can continuously improve rather than just putting time in, doing the same things, not learning anything, and essentially just, treading water pretty much. That's going to move on to the second main point I want to make now, and this is that Etsy gives you feedback based off of numbers, not based off of how much effort you've put into your shop. And so Etsy does not care how long it takes you to make a listing. If I upload a listing to Etsy and this took me 7 hours to make, right? Etsy is not going to say, oh, wow, you know what? Alfie spent 7 hours on that listing. It must be good. Let's put it to page number 1. I wish it worked that way, but it really doesn't. Etsy cares about metrics, okay? It cares about click-through rates. It cares about how many people are actually clicking on the listing. It cares about the favorites the listing's getting. It very much cares about the sales the listing gets and the feedback customers give on that listing to make sure that it's good quality. And so you need to get this crystal clear in your head, right? I say this in pretty much every video. Etsy is just an algorithm at the end of the day. It's not a human being on the other side of the screen saying, oh, let's put Jess's listing to page 1. Let's put Dominic's listing to page 3. It's just an algorithm. And we've really just got to learn to play the game. So we've got to know what really matters on Etsy to enable us to put our time into the areas that really matter. When it comes to putting our time into certain tasks, I want to touch on point 3 now. And this is where the human element comes into things, right? And this is that most sellers, including myself a lot of the time, we choose to do tasks based on emotion, not based on the leverage that task is going to give you. So this is a really big point to make here, guys, all right? A lot of people, including myself in the past a lot of the time, we automatically open our laptop, log into our Etsy shop, and we default to doing tasks that feel safe to us or tasks that we think feel productive, because doing something that we know and not having to take risks, not doing something new, like I said, it feels very safe. And sometimes always just doing the safe tasks makes us feel that we're logging on and we're making progress, but realistically, we're never really moving the needle forward. Some good examples of this, again, that I see from a lot of clients when they first come to me. We always discuss, where's time being spent so that we can best manage it and make it a lot more efficient, make a lot more high impact, more efficient workflow. A lot of things clients say to me is that they spend a lot of time just endlessly tweaking listings. Maybe it's like changing a SEO word. Maybe it's like looking at the description, over researching as well. That's a really big one, just spending way too long on research, but never really knowing what the research is really telling us and like how to interpret certain things, changing niches too fast as well. And also just continuing to make more and more listings, even though the listings that they've already got aren't working. Okay, so that should be a number one sign, right? If you've made 100 listings, for example, and they're just not working, they're not performing, don't go and spend more time making another 100 of doing things in the exact same way, because you could do way more higher leverage tasks with your time rather than continuing to do something which just hasn't been working for you. That moves us on to the next point now. Again, just to hammer this fact home, low leverage work a lot of the time is the safest work, and it feels good to us because it avoids risk. And we are all human beings. You know, you're a human being, I'm a human being, we're all very much the same. And a lot of us are very risk avoidant. And it's built into us through human nature, through evolution, whatever, it's built into us, okay? Because sometimes when we take risks, if they don't work out, that gives us a negative emotion, and we don't want to potentially risk feeling that negative emotion. But more often than not, guys, and I don't know if you've already seen this with your shop, the most high leverage tasks, some of them, you know, like pivoting to a new product type, for example, adding a new product type to your store. Maybe you currently sell t-shirts and you want to add mugs to your shop, right? That involves a lot of risk, and that involves a lot of time and effort, and it also involves you learning something new. So you've then got to learn how to sell mugs. You've got to learn how to market mugs. You've got to go out and buy new mock-ups. You've got to do a whole load of new research, right? It's a big risk for you to take, and it will take a lot of time. But more often than not, if you get it right, that's the things that really move the needle forward with your shop. This is why I see it so much, right? The sellers that end up doing the best, they do work hard. You know, I am by no means disqualifying that at all. Working hard is a baseline requirement, but the sellers I always see scale the fastest, certainly through my programs as well, they're always the ones that really take action on the feedback and don't dwell on things and really do the high impact, risky, high value tasks rather than just always playing it safe. When we talk about exactly what these high value tasks are, okay, there's a lot of things I work through with my clients to make sure that anybody I'm working with, the time they put into their business is going to give them the maximum return on their time, not just now, but also in the long run as well. I've had very good success doing that with clients I've worked with. Now, to help you guys out, who I'm not currently working with, I've put a lot of the stuff that I discuss with clients into a checklist for you guys. So instead of you continuing to guess on, you know, oh, should I be doing this with my time? Should I be doing this with my time? What are the high value tasks? I've put a lot of them into a checklist that you guys can literally work through step by step when you're doing your listings, when you're doing your Etsy shop. It's helped a lot of clients get to 5 figures plus per month. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link to it completely for free in the video description for you to make sure that you get moving in the right direction. Now, I want to move on to the next point here as well, guys. And this is that hard work only works for you when it is aimed correctly. The message is not don't work hard, by no means. Like I said, you need to work hard. The message is stop wasting the hard work and the time that you are putting into your shop. With that, guys, I want you to make sure that when you log into your Etsy shop, you do a high value task first. I have fallen into this trap myself so many times, okay? I log into my Etsy shop. First thing I do, I don't know if you do the same, first thing I do, reply to customer messages. Next thing I do, probably create some duplicates of some listings, change some images around, and get some A/B tests running. So I've at least got one new listing I'm putting up on my shop every single day. Then I would probably either do some research, you know, or I'd probably just create some more listings that are based on the exact same workflow and the exact same template of what I've already got in my shop. But nowadays, I really try to make it crystal clear to myself that the first task I do to tick off every day in my Etsy shop is a needle moving task. Whether it is, you know, that I'm trying a new product type and I want to get the first batch of 100 done, I'll make sure the first thing I do before I reply to messages, before I tinker with listings, before I do research, the highest value task for me in this moment right now is building up that product catalog and getting out the 100 listings, a mug, for example, if that's the newest product type in my shop, so I can then get data in as quickly as possible to qualify whether selling mugs on my shop is going to work or if it isn't going to work. Like I said, the high value tasks for you, they're always going to look a bit different and they will change throughout time as well, depending on what you're doing with your shop at the current point. But whatever it is, just make sure the first thing you do when you log on is a high value task and it's not a low value task. And then on top of that, guys, I want to move on to the next point as well. And this is very much that long-term consistency is always going to be short terms of random intensity. What do I mean by that? I actually just want to show you some straight up examples of what I mean by this. Okay. So doing the right thing long term, you should see consistent small successes every single month, right? So month B should be better than month A. Month C should be better than month B in general through time. And I'll pull up some results from my most recent shop, the mug shop I started on Etsy. And I've done videos about this in the past as well. But you'll see the results for the first, say, 6 months, very average, very standard. But continuously doing high value tasks over a long period of time and continuing to move the needle forward always results in, 4-figure months, 5-figure months that I'm making with that shop now. That took time to lead up to. Okay. And again, talking with some of my clients as well. So not just my results, other people's results. Shada, months of nothing, but continuous high value work. Once we had our initial discussion, then suddenly results start to take off. Hunterland's results as well. You see that? Months in a row of not doing too much, but getting those little wins, making consistent progress, doing high value tasks. And then now we are starting to hit some much better months and some really good results with good profit margins as well. And unless you learn to treat Etsy like a proper business, guys, you simply will not make time to do these high value tasks and put the time into your business. So one thing that I need you to do from today as well, an actionable task, download the calendar app on your phone. So make sure you've got access to a calendar and plan in work slots throughout the week to work on your Etsy business. For example, if you signed up to a gym class, like a spin class or a class with a personal trainer, right? You'd put it in your calendar and you would make sure that you turn up and you'd make sure that you stay through the whole session and you finish at the end. Everyone around you would know that you've got that going on, so you won't be bothered and people will just know that during that time period, you are doing that thing. Please, if you want serious results on Etsy, treat it the exact same way. Minimum 5 hours per week, whether that's 5 1-hour slots, 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is. Minimum 5 hours per week if you want some semi-decent results. Make sure you're putting that in to your calendar. And so you do not need to work harder on Etsy necessarily, but you do need to do your hard work in the right direction. Now, guys, like I said, we talk about a lot of things on these videos. And so if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed or you still think you're guessing with a lot of things or you've still got some unanswered questions, then that's exactly why I created the Etsy Accelerator community. It's got all of my detailed training in there. Everything is step by step. It's the exact same workflows, training and formula that clients such as Sajir has worked through, now making 7K per month, and has completely replaced his 9 to 5 to travel full time. And so if you're serious about making money on Etsy, then I do recommend you to check it out. There's a link in the video description. We'll see if you're a good fit for working together. Otherwise, guys, if you want to see how Hunterland went from 60 cents per month to thousands of dollars per month on Etsy, then I recommend you check out this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Work hard, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.